There is a place on earth where the dead do not decay, where the cold is patient, where the air is too thin to support a human heart, where bodies sit, frozen, in the same posture they died in, eyes open, hands curled, lips parted, around the last words they ever spoke. That place is Mount Everest, and the mountain has been keeping its dead for over 100 years. This is the story of the Killer Mountain. Mount Everest sits on the border of Nepal and Tibet. Its summit reaches 8,849 meters above sea level, almost 9 kilometers straight up. At that altitude, there is 1/3 of the oxygen a human body needs to function. The air is too thin to fully fill the lungs. The cold is too deep to keep the blood moving. The wind, in its strongest hours, can lift a grown person off the rock. There is a name for the region, above 8,000 meters. The climbers who go there call it the death zone. Above that line, the body begins to die. Cells stop repairing themselves. Memory falters. Judgment narrows to a single thought. Keep moving. The mind goes quiet in a way it never does at lower altitude. Some climbers who came back, will tell you they heard voices on the wind. They will tell you those voices were not the wind. When climbers die above 8,000 meters, their bodies do not come down. There are practical reasons. Recovering a single body from the death zone requires 6 to 8 Sherpas, each risking his own life on a slope where one wrong step is 1,000 meters of fall. People have died trying to bring people down, but the deeper reason is not practical. It is the mountain itself. The cold preserves the dead. There is no decay above 8,000 meters. No insects can live up there. No bacteria can break a body down. Climbers who fell into crevasses in the 1920s are still there. Frozen, faces visible, the skin still holding its color. If you climb Mount Everest today, you will walk past the dead, many of them quietly, as if they are sleeping. His name was Tsewang Paljor. In May of 1996, he was 28 years old, an officer in the Indo-Tibetan Border Police, on his country's first ever expedition to the summit. He reached it. Coming back down, a blizzard caught him. He took shelter in a small limestone cave at 8,500 meters. He never came out. He died there, curled against the wall of the cave, his bright green plastic climbing boots sticking out of the entrance. For the next 20 years, every climber who pushed for the Everest summit walked past those green boots. They began calling him by them. Green boots. They used him as a landmark. The cave is on the route. You cannot miss it. His family in India has asked repeatedly for his body to be brought home. The mountain has not let him go. There are other ghosts. In 1979, a German mountaineer named Hannelore Schmatz became the first woman to die on Everest. For a decade after her death, her body remained on the south route, sitting upright against her pack, eyes open, frozen, staring east toward the rising sun. Climbers saluted her as they passed. The mountain eventually moved her in its own time, sweeping her off the edge in a windstorm. In 1998, a climber named Francis Arsentiev was found alone on the route. She was still conscious. She was whispering over and over, "Do not leave me. Do not leave me." The 2 climbers who found her did the math of the death zone. There was no way to carry her. There was barely enough oxygen to carry themselves. They stayed with her for an hour. They held her hand. Then they left. Her body remained on the route for 9 more years, dressed in a deep purple climbing suit, hands folded peacefully across her chest. The climbers who came after began calling her Sleeping Beauty. The same storm that killed Green Boots killed 8 people in a single afternoon. 2 commercial expedition leaders, 3 of their paying clients. A famous Russian mountaineer named Anatoly Bukreev, who turned back into the blizzard alone. to look for survivors. He never returned. A journalist who survived the disaster, named Jan Krakauer, wrote a book about it. He called it Into Thin Air. It became one of the best-selling adventure books ever written. Until that book, most people did not know you could pay to climb Mount Everest. After it, everybody knew, and the line at base camp only grew longer. In May of 2019, a photograph went viral. 200 climbers, single file, queued on a narrow ridge near the summit, waiting their turn. The summit window is short. The mountain only allows so many through per day. 11 of those climbers in that photo died. Some ran out of supplemental oxygen while waiting in the line. Some died on the descent, exhausted from hours of standing in the cold. Some died quietly in their tents at lower camps after summiting, the heart finally refusing. The mountain did not care that they had paid $60,000 each. More than 330 people have died on Mount Everest. Roughly 200 of those bodies are still up there. The Sherpas who guide foreign climbers die at the highest rate of all. They make the trip multiple times each season. They carry the equipment. They fix the ropes. They climb without the option of turning back because their families need the income. The foreign climbers chose to come. The Sherpas mostly did not. Mount Everest has never been climbed. Climbers have only been allowed to leave. Everybody on the mountain is a story, a name, a family who watched the news in 1979, in 1996, in 2006, in 2019, people who paid the mountain everything they had, and the mountain kept every one of them. Green Boots is still in his cave. The wind moves around him in the long dark of the Himalayan winter. The snow buries the entrance in some seasons and clears it in others. He has not moved since 1996, and every May, when the climbing window opens again, the line at base camp gets longer. The mountain is patient. The mountain is cold. The mountain is waiting.